announced today that we are branding our new power business, Accelera, by Cummins. Cummins is well known as a global diesel engine provider, and we've been investing in recent years in our Destination Zero strategy to decarbonize our industry, commercial and industrial applications around the world.
Featured today is our 15-liter next generation engine. This engine is important to our customers because it is the same envelope no matter what fuel that they desire to use.
What if the biggest twist in the EV revolution didn't come from Tesla or some shiny new startup, but from a diesel giant working in silence? While the world obsessed over battery ranges and sleek EVs, Cummins quietly rewrote the rules of the engine game. No dramatic teaser, no flashy countdown, just a surprise reveal that's now making legacy manufacturers sweat. Their CEO dropped a clean, fuel-agnostic powerhouse that's built not just for today's roads, but for a future full of shifting fuels and rising demands.
Yeah, so let me just talk about a couple of the key investments and technologies that we think are important right now for commercial vehicles.
Could this be the engine that bridges power and sustainability? Join us as we uncover what Cummins built. Cummins CEO announces new engine. In a world where electric vehicles dominate headlines and battery tech is the talk of the town, one company has been quietly doing things its own way, Cummins. While other automakers raced to show off concept cars and futuristic charging stations, Cummins stayed behind the scenes. No big press events, no viral videos, just quiet, focused work. And now, it seems, their silence was anything but still. Cummins' CEO, Jennifer Ramsey, has finally pulled back the curtain on what the company has been building behind closed doors, and it's got the entire auto industry talking. Not with hype, but with surprise. This new engine isn't just a slight improvement. It's being called a game changer. And the craziest part? It might shake up the electric vehicle space in a way no one saw coming. While the EV world was busy arguing about charging speed and battery range, Cummins was asking different questions. Like, what if there's a way to keep the strength and durability of traditional engines, but with far fewer emissions? These are the ideas that Cummins has been exploring. Keep watching to find out more about these ideas. And now, Cummins have delivered something bold. A fuel-agnostic engine platform that can adapt to different energy sources, including clean hydrogen. Jennifer Ramsey didn't make a big fuss. There were no dramatic speeches or over-the-top stage reveals. Just a simple message. We're focused on providing power solutions to our customers, recognizing that there's a variety of different solutions we're going to need. It's a quiet confidence, one that comes from knowing the work speaks for itself. This new engine isn't just built for trucks or construction vehicles. It's built for a world that's changing fast. Countries are starting to ban combustion engines. Automakers are betting everything on electricity. Consumers think EVs have already won. But Cummins is playing a different game. They're not chasing trends, they're planning for the long haul. What makes this move even more interesting is that Cummins isn't trying to be the next Tesla. They're not promising self-driving cars or EVs that go 1,000 miles. Instead, they're building power systems that work in real-life situations, long hauls, harsh weather, off-grid operations, the kinds of things that shiny city EVs struggle with. Over the past few years, Cummins has been working on clean hydrogen through electrolyzers, launching hybrid systems that outperform diesel in fuel savings, and now, creating engines that can run on multiple fuels without major changes. It's smart, it's steady, and it's starting to look like the rest of the industry walked into a trap without knowing it.
And one of the consistent conversations has been the large demand to supply more products and our ability to do that. And while we often are not fully meeting their needs, they really appreciate that we communicate transparently, that we've worked hard to improve how we've supplied to them and to increasingly meet those needs as we've navigated.
At first glance, it might seem like Cummins is just hedging its bets. But the reality? They're building flexibility into their future. A future where the rules aren't written yet. And as EV makers battle over battery limits, Cummins is saying, what if the answer doesn't involve batteries at all? With Jennifer Ramsey at the helm, one thing's becoming clear. Cummins isn't just catching up. They might be leading the next wave of innovation, quietly, carefully, and now, unmistakably. It should be noted that CEO Jennifer Ramsey hasn't been giving dramatic speeches or making big promises about revolutionizing mobility without concrete plans. If you've been paying attention to interviews, investor calls, and quiet statements, you'll notice a pattern. She's been talking about the need for realistic zero-carbon solutions, not perfect answers for a perfect world, but practical ones for the world we actually live in. And most importantly, she's focused on building engines that customers can use without having to rebuild their whole operation. That's not just good business, it's a mindset. It says, we don't have to destroy everything old to build something better. We just need better tools. And those tools might already be here, hidden in plain sight. While the rest of the auto world rushed toward an all-electric finish line, Cummins took a different route. They've been working on things like fuel-agnostic engines that can run on multiple fuels, hydrogen combustion, hybrid systems, and electrolyzers for clean hydrogen production. No huge marketing splash, no Elon-style tweets, just slow, steady problem-solving. But that might be exactly what makes them so dangerous to the competition. Because while EV makers have been scrambling to solve problems like battery supply chains, charging station shortages, and grid instability, Cummins has stayed focused on what really matters, power that works in real-life conditions. But will this new engine replace EVs in the near future? Let's find out. Will Cummins' new engine replace EVs? Let's face it, EVs sounded perfect on paper, clean, quiet, oil-free. But as things unfold, the cracks are starting to show. Range anxiety is still real. Charging networks are still patchy, especially in rural areas. Battery production is struggling because of rare earth shortages. And then there's the environmental cost of all that lithium and cobalt mining.
However, there are serious ethical questions when it comes to the supply of some minerals used to produce these batteries. This is especially true of cobalt, which is found in every lithium-ion battery from smartphones and tablets to laptops, in addition to being used to produce jet engines.
Something no one wants to talk about when calling EVs green. Cities can't build infrastructure fast enough, and in many places the electric grid can't handle the extra load. A hot summer or cold winter can shut it all down. These are real problems. And people are starting to ask, did we rush into this too fast? Cummins isn't saying electric vehicles are bad. They're just saying maybe they're not the only solution, and they're not alone. Other companies like Toyota, Mazda, and Stellantis are also investing in things like synthetic fuels, hydrogen engines, and ultra-efficient hybrids. The goal is the same, cleaner energy. The path, however, is different. That's what makes Cummins so interesting right now. They're not trying to win the software war or create the next smartphone on wheels. They're building engines, strong, reliable, adaptable ones. Engines that can haul freight, power hospitals, and survive the worst conditions. Engines that work for industries where downtime isn't a minor inconvenience, it's millions lost every hour. And when it comes to cost, electric vehicles are still expensive. Tax breaks help for now, but those won't last forever. Fleet managers and logistics companies aren't buying dreams. They're doing the math. They care about cost per mile, repair time, and how quickly a vehicle can get back to work. For those customers, reliability beats cool factor every time. Cummins understands that. They've never tried to be trendy. Instead, they're doing something smarter, solving the problems that EVs still can't fix. They're not trying to outshine Tesla. They're not trying to chase flashy innovation. They're asking a different question. How do we give the world something that works, not just today, but 10 or 20 years from now? And that difference matters, because while the auto industry is busy fighting its internal war between politics, technology, and branding, Cummins is standing outside the chaos, watching it unfold. They're looking for weak spots. And the more the all-electric dream hits real-world resistance, the more space opens up for someone with a different kind of answer. Cummins has stayed in the background long enough, but that's about to change. Something big is coming, and the rest of the industry might not be ready. Right now, the world is running hard toward one future, an electric one. Everywhere you look, it's EV this and battery that. Governments are banning combustion engines. Companies are racing to install charging stations. Everyone seems convinced this is the only road ahead. But here's a truth no one wants to say out loud. The future is still up for grabs. All it takes is one battery recall, one major power grid failure, or one sudden policy change, and the story could flip. If that happens, don't be surprised if Cummins is already there, standing at the finish line, ready, waiting, holding something no one saw coming. But what exactly is this something? Stay tuned to find out. The big plans of the Cummins CEO. What they're holding isn't just an engine, it's a strategy. It's called Helm. Now, Helm doesn't sound flashy. It's not a product. It's not a cool car with butterfly doors. It's a platform, high efficiency, low emissions, multiple fuels. But don't let the simple name fool you. Helm is quietly becoming one of the smartest moves in the auto world. Here's why. Most companies today are betting on one technology. Some go all in on battery electric. Others are betting on hydrogen fuel cells or synthetic fuels. But every one of them is placing a huge bet on one outcome. If they're wrong, they'll have to start over. Cummins isn't playing that game. Instead, they've built an engine platform that doesn't care where the world goes. Diesel, natural gas, hydrogen, even something we haven't thought of yet. Helm engines are designed to adapt. That's a big deal, because for decades, engines were married to a single fuel. Diesel ran on diesel. Gasoline engines ran on gas. Everything, the parts, the software, the design, was built around that one fuel. Helm changes all of that. Cummins built a core engine structure that stays the same no matter what fuel it runs on. This means fleets don't need to throw everything out when regulations change or new fuels become available. A truck that runs on diesel today can be swapped out for a hydrogen engine later without redesigning the vehicle or rebuilding the infrastructure. It's not a future idea. It's happening now. The B6.7 and X15 engine lines already exist in diesel, natural gas, and hydrogen-compatible forms. They all use the same base. For companies that manage large fleets, this is a game changer. You don't have to train your mechanics all over again. You don't need new parts for every fuel. It's familiar, scalable, and real. That's what makes this such a smart move. While other companies are waiting for charging networks to be built or rare materials to become cheaper, Cummins is building for now and the future. Jennifer Ramsey, the CEO of Cummins, calls this practical innovation. It's not flashy, but in an industry full of hype, practicality is what stands out. Instead of making big promises for 2035, Cummins is making engines that meet today's emission standards and tomorrow's carbon goals. And they're not doing it alone. Major truck makers are already lining up to use Helm engines. Why? Because they fit. They work with what's already on the road. They don't cause costly downtime. And when fuel rules change, the switch is simple. This isn't just helpful. For many companies, it's a survival plan. And it doesn't stop with big trucks. Think about buses, delivery vans, tractors, and construction equipment. These vehicles work in tough places, blizzards, deserts, muddy fields. They can't afford to stop working because a charger isn't nearby. They need engines that can handle the job and keep going. Helm gives them that option. It offers a path out of the electric-only corner. It gives businesses more time, more choices, and fewer risks. In many ways, it's the safety net the industry didn't know it needed. And here's the most interesting part. Cummins isn't out there mocking EVs or fighting against government rules. They're not trying to win the loudest argument. They're just quietly building a better way. One with fewer roadblocks. One that works with what people already have. Even now, with Helm engines already in motion, there's a feeling that Cummins is just getting started. Fuel flexibility is only step one. They're not shouting about what's next. But something is brewing behind the scenes. So while everyone else is racing down one road, Cummins is building a whole new one, and it's the hydrogen engine. It's not about hype, it's about what works. And in the end, that might be the most powerful thing of all. How will this hydrogen engine change everything we know about the EV industry? Keep watching to find out. The hydrogen engine that might change everything. The world has been racing toward electric vehicles like it's the only road forward. Electric vehicles were supposed to be the future, clean, silent, and high-tech. Everyone from startups to legacy car makers placed their bets on batteries. Governments made laws, automakers made promises, and consumers were told the internal combustion engine was on its way out. But what if it isn't? While most of the industry focused on fuel cells, lithium-ion batteries, and endless charging stations,
Sodium-ion batteries have been around since about the 1970s and 80s, but large-scale development of the technology was abandoned in favor of lithium-ion batteries.
Cummins was doing something else, something that almost sounds rebellious in today's auto world. Instead of throwing away everything we've built over a century of combustion engines, they asked a simple question. What if we could save it? Not by keeping things the same, but by evolving what already works. And that's where hydrogen comes in. But not the way you might think. When most people hear hydrogen, they picture fuel cells, quiet systems that release water vapor and promise a sleek, battery-free future. But Cummins is flipping the script. They're not chasing the futuristic, whisper-quiet vision. They're putting hydrogen into internal combustion engines. Yes, real engines that make real sounds, use pistons, and smell a little like grease. It's called H2 ICE, Hydrogen Internal Combustion Engine. And it's not just an idea. It's already real. Cummins has built and tested these engines. They've even put them on the road. The first wave includes a 6.7-liter engine for medium-duty trucks and buses, and a 15-liter powerhouse for heavy-duty haulers. These machines aren't prototypes sitting in labs. They're loud, rugged, and designed to survive tough jobs. And most importantly, they emit zero carbon. That's the part that's catching people off guard. Hydrogen combustion engines reuse a lot of the same infrastructure we already have for diesel engines. The parts, the servicing, the tools, it's all familiar. No need to retrain mechanics or build expensive new networks. No need to wait. These engines work now. And that's a big deal. Cummins didn't just talk about it, they proved it. In the UK, they led Project Brunel, a full-scale demo of how hydrogen engines perform in real life. The result? The engines passed durability tests. They reduced tailpipe carbon emissions by more than 99%. They met strict Euro 7 standards for nitrogen oxide emissions. They didn't just work, they thrived. And Cummins isn't the only one exploring this path. Big names like Toyota and JCB are also testing hydrogen combustion. But there's a difference. While others are experimenting, Cummins is scaling. They've already committed to mass production. They're not just building engines, they're building the fuel supply too. Their investment in Europe's largest electrolyzer plant in Spain shows they're serious about creating the entire ecosystem. This isn't about hype or far-off promises. It's about delivering solutions that work today, not 10 years from now. The hydrogen combustion engine challenges the idea that progress means starting over. For years, internal combustion has been treated like a dinosaur, dirty, outdated, doomed to extinction. But Cummins is asking, why throw away something that works just because we haven't tried everything? This approach feels bold, even controversial. In a world chasing sleek electric motors and silent highways, Cummins is making engines that are noisy and practical. They're bringing back the kind of reliability that helped build the modern world, just with zero carbon emissions. And the advantages aren't just technical. Electric vehicles still face real challenges. Charging infrastructure is behind schedule. Battery production is bottlenecked by supply chain issues and rare material shortages. Cold weather kills range, heavy loads drain batteries fast, The idea of a battery-powered semi-truck hauling 40,000 pounds through freezing temperatures.
When a Tesla can't charge in the cold weather, it is referred to by some owners as having become bricked, which is to say that it is as lifeless and useless as one.
Sounds great, until it doesn't work. That's where hydrogen combustion steps in. Fast refueling, long range, strong performance in any weather. And since it uses known technology, adoption is quicker and cheaper. Fleet managers don't have to worry about retraining workers or redesigning vehicles. They just switch fuels. Even more exciting? This might only be the beginning. There's a strange quiet around what Cummins is really working on. Executives aren't giving away too much. Engineers avoid going into detail. But insiders are hinting that the engines we've seen, the 6.7-liter and 15-liter models, are just step one. What if Cummins isn't just retrofitting diesel engines to run on hydrogen? What if they're developing a brand new engine built from the ground up for hydrogen? That would be huge. It would mean they're not just adapting to the future. They're helping shape it. Right now, as the EV gold rush starts to lose momentum, Cummins is stepping into the spotlight with something completely different. Sales of electric cars are slowing. Charging stations are still rare in many places. Battery costs aren't dropping as fast as promised. And the public is starting to wonder if maybe, just maybe, we were too quick to bet everything on one idea. In the middle of all that noise, Cummins offers a quieter message. You don't have to force the future. You can build a better one. With H2 ICE, Cummins isn't rejecting electric vehicles. They're just showing there's another way. One that's practical, one that's scalable, one that doesn't forget everything we've already built. They're not asking the world to change overnight. They're just offering a solution that works now and gets better over time. So while the rest of the industry keeps running toward one finish line, Cummins might already be standing at a different one. Quietly, confidently, holding something no one expected. And if what they're hinting at is true, if there's something even bigger coming, then the real shift hasn't happened yet. But it's coming. What are your thoughts on this new engine released by Cummins Automobile Company? Let us know your opinions in the comment section below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen. You will enjoy it.